It's the Machine of Nonsense, episode 74, and we've made it. Hold for applause. Hold for applause. Okay. So it's May 1st, and we're doing our What's Coming Up in May episode. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by Kayla.
Hey, guys.
And Mike.
May there. Hi there. Ho there.
The May puns keep coming, and they probably will keep coming. I don't know how much we can stretch this out, but yes, we are doing our What's Coming Up in May episode. We've got maybe a lighter month than we've had recently, but it's probably a good thing. There's a lot to catch up on. It's been heavy. It's been heavy game early quarter. It's been heavy movie and show. Lots of shows, tons of stuff. So, maybe May's given us a little bit of a break. Mike, the last time we were on, you said you finished Tunic. You were maybe jumping into Wild West or Weird West, the weirdest, wildest West of them all. Have you done any Weird Out?
Have not, because the day I was going to play it was like, oh yeah, Rogue Legacy 2 is out. Like, oh, all right. Like, I'm playing that instead. And that's been really fun. Rogue Legacy 1 was a cool roguelike, a la like a Hades or Binding of Isaac or something, where you play as like a knight, and every time you go through the castle, you're getting gold and stuff. You're trying to beat these bosses, blah, 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 to fight, the evil, whatever. But the real draw is like just every time you die, you pick a new heir from your character. Like, and that person's going to have these weird traits that go with them. Like, they might be gigantic. They might be colorblind, so the whole world appears black and white. Just little things like that. And the sequel improves on all this kind of stuff. It really expands on the class systems. In the first game, the classes were just like, oh, either you're going to have a sword or you're going to have a bow or you're going to have, But this one, there's really every class has a talent, so there's a lot of difference in the classes now. And then you're going out, you're doing these runs, you're getting the gold, you're able to bring the gold back, and that's where you improve your character in this like little hub world. You're expanding this like castle. Every time you build a new little addition to it, you could learn new stuff, unlock a new class, and things like that. And it's tough. The game is pretty hard. I haven't beaten the first boss yet, but yeah, Rogue, that one has been taking up my time, and that's only on Xbox right now, and it is not on Game Pass. It's $20.
Oh wow.
$20 is reasonable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was total. I didn't blink at it. I instantly. And I've installed Bugsnax as well, which is on Game Pass. That was kind of on PlayStation for the first year and a half. Now I think it might even be on Switch. But I installed that. I'm excited to try that as well. And I think the DLC for it is just free and added. I think.
Oh, nice.
The Big Bugsnax Island or whatever it's called. So
existential Pokemon. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on Rogue Legacy, there's no difficulty levels. It's just pretty tough.
Yeah, and I mean it's as tough as like a Hollow Knight or Hades, any of those kind of things. It's not different than that, but that's the kind of the point. It's really, the game is really threat assessment. Entering one of these rooms and knowing, okay, let's deal with the flying guy first. Let's deal, those guys on the ground can wait. And knowing what you have in your toolbox to deal with it.
Loved Hades. If this is anything like Hades, how are you liking? Have you gotten this? Is there any story? Does it matter, or is it more the gameplay that's really driving it?
The story, you're finding notes every run. You'll find like a new note, and there's like these two characters that are writing back and forth. They're only using their first initial, so it's like mystery, like who are these characters? And you're actually what I've liked so far. You're finding notes from the first boss, and it's pretty fun to learn. His personality, I guess, because normally in these games you wouldn't know any he's just a lich king. Okay, that's all I. But yeah, the story is at least more than just there so far. There's something there.
Nice.
And the first game had a decent little story too. So,
is this like a direct sequel? Like, are there elements from the first that are like touched on or anything else, or just kind of two different things?
Not so far.
Mm.
No. I think it's completely new. In the first one, it was like you're right outside the castle you're exploring, and this one it seems like where you're exploring is on an island. Like Charon has to boat you out. And that's the excuse to, because once you come back and spend your money, you might be left with some money, but he charges you what you have left in order to boat you to so that's that.
So they're even doing like the Hades boatman thing as well.
A lot of Charon in game, Forgotten City as well.
Yes,
a lot of Charon love.
Holy
I think
smokes.
I'm pronouncing that right. I don't.
It's Greek.
I think it's changed to
in
different
Forgotten
people,
City,
different
it's
times.
literally Karen, So there you go. But
Well, I'm going to call him Charon. Charon.
I dig it. You get to be your own man. Severance, Kayla. We powered through that. What did you think? I don't know if I've asked you.
I liked it. I don't want to say they set up a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of just weird stuff going on. Really interesting. It's Severance it's on Apple TV. It's with Adam Scott, directed by Ben Stiller, which I found very interesting. I didn't know he's been directing stuff for like ever, and it's really well received. I didn't really realize that. It's weird. It's some funky stuff.
What did you think of that last episode? I've got major thoughts on that last episode.
I need more. I felt like they leave you hanging.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Eric and I had that conversation. Like, well, there's one big mystery, and they're gonna have to wrap that up by the end of the season. What are they gonna do for a season 2? But there's stuff.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they definitely... That was one thing I was concerned about. We did talk about, like, oh, man, what is the season 2? Because they announced maybe, like, midway through season 1 that they had gotten picked up for a second season, and as I'm watching it, I'm like, man, I don't know what that is, because there's kind of this central mystery going on of, like, what are these people doing? I described it on a previous episode, but Severance is essentially... you get an implant, you work for this company, you get an implant, and when you go to work, you go into this building, you go downstairs, and you only know your work while you're at work, and you only know your outside life when you're outside. The implant somehow does that. So your inside and your outside mind never talk to each other. So it's a really wild concept and everything else, and like... The main crux or the main like driving thing is like, okay, what are the people on the inside doing? Because they show you very little of like what they're doing, and they're kind of finding out too because they're almost like children while they're on the inside. They're like learning they don't know anything of their past or who they are on the outside.
They don't know what it's like outside. They're like, there's a zombie apocalypse out there, and we're here solving the problem.
As far as they know, yeah, it could literally be, the outside world could be literally anything. So it's super compelling. And like the conversations that they have, it kind of centers around like 4 people, Adam Scott and 3 other, of his coworkers. And they're in this really, I mentioned on a previous episode, it's very control-like. They're in this like kind of nondescript office setting, but it's very mysterious. The technology is a little weird. Not in a sci-fi. It's like a weird retro futuristic kind of technology. thing
There's
going
like a intercom speaker thing that the board talks to you through. You like never
Literally.
see the board. You never really even hear them. They're just like there.
Yeah.
Making static.
So super compelling. It's going to come up. I don't want to like spoil it for the Nonsense of the Year awards. But that final episode to me was one of the most like tense kind of episode, like 45 minutes I've seen in a long time. There's just like a scheme, a plot that's going on in that episode, and that's the entire thing. There's very little setup. It's just like, okay, we're gonna hatch this plan. We're gonna do this, and it's all kind of on a time limit in a sense, and it was really good. Like, I was a little iffy up until that point. I think there's 9 episodes total.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the first 8, I'm like, I dig it. I like the concept, but it didn't feel like it was going anywhere or like it was going to wrap up in a satisfying way. But it left me feeling really good. I really enjoy it. I want to like fully give my endorsement of like check out Severance at this point.
Man, I gotta watch it.
Yeah, it's and it's I think they really do well with the concept. It's very confusing. That was one part of it that was a little like hard, especially early on, because like they're building out this world in a very like subtle way. And it's hard. It's like, okay, how does this work? How, like, what, they go in the elevator and their mind, like the implant turns on. Okay, I kind of sort of get that, and like,
all about that.
It's very odd.
It's so interesting. Like, you think, oh yeah, I'd love to go to work and not think about my worries at home. That sounds great. Sign me up. But you know nothing.
Yeah.
You like, it's weird.
And you get little hints at like the motivations for each, like Adam Scott right away, we know his motivation, like why he has become severed. So like episode 1, you're going to figure that out like right away. But then you kind of, the other characters, like, oh, why is this person choosing to do this and stuff? And it builds out like what the political landscape looks like too in the world. It's got like some far reaching kind of consequences or whatever. So yeah, don't want to give really anything else out because it's, well, frankly, I don't think I know. It's just not like it's definitely a show that leaves you with a lot of questions, but super compelling. And they're like 45-ish minute episodes. I think they like vacillate between like 40 to 50 minute episodes primarily. And there's 9 of them.
Nice.
So.
Kayla mentioned like feeling like when you're in the middle of a season or something, you think things are going to wrap, like you think they're going to solve like a whole thing. I've kind of struggled with that with even games and movies and stuff, of just not knowing whether something's going to be limited or something's going to continue on, and managing those expectations while you're in the like is tough. I remember with like God of War 2018 feeling like, okay, we're going to meet Thor. We're going to see Odin. And then none of that happening, and feeling kind of let down by the end of God of War, and then later on, like, okay, I shouldn't have felt that way. I shouldn't have, there's obviously going to be 2 or 3 more of these things. And yeah, even with shows and stuff, like, okay, are they going to wrap all this up? Is there going to be more? Is this going to be 2 or 3 seasons? Like, it's so tough to manage that now.
And sometimes they want to, they're trying for that.
Right.
They want more, but don't always get it.
Yeah, I think this story's big enough for multiple seasons, and we're getting at least 2. I do prefer like a limited series. I do prefer like knowing that, all right, something's like I am going to get a wrap up or something. I am a little concerned, like Westworld on HBO dealt with a lot of very similar like themes and concepts and was really, really cool. But after the first season, it opened it up in like a big way, like expanded the world and everything about like the Westworld story. I wouldn't say Severance has done that, but like I see a similar path where they could, and I'm a little concerned because once Westworld did it, I was just not as it wasn't as interesting. When it was confined to like a handful of characters confined to a smaller space and smaller stakes almost, like it was cooler. And that's what season 1 of Severance kind of is, but I could see a path where it's like, oh man, they're going to span this out in some way, shape, or form. And I'd be a little concerned. So, yeah. But no, you should watch it. Everyone out there should watch it. I think it's really good. It's a lot of fun, and we watched it. We're probably over 3 sessions, maybe. Like we
a week.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's compulsive in that way. Every episode kind of ends on like a little of a cliffhanger, at least, like to where, all right, you want to put on that next one. So pretty good.
Yeah. That and like a show like I've heard so much good things about Yellow Jackets, the Showtime show. I really want to see that too, and it seems like they kind of could share the same mind space a bit.
Yeah, so just get 2 more streaming services. What's 2 more?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Gosh,
they Cut really the cord, should everybody.
They really should do a thing where like they package them all in, and you pay like a lump fee every month, and you have different like channels, like where you can just go on all of them, and maybe it'd be like $200 a month, something like that.
Channels?
Yeah, they should. Yeah, I'm just coming up with this off the top of my head. But
okay,
yeah,
interesting.
Do something like that.
Wow.
So
maybe a guide to help us.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know what you'd call it. But I'd probably do it blue background. I'd probably like a nice blue.
Scrolls.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think
nice
so.
Music.
Yeah.
Music.
People like that. I like it.
Little clock action too. Let people know what time it is.
Hey, before I had a cell phone, that was my clock.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Oh boy. So May, I mentioned it's a little lighter, but we got stuff. We got some compelling things that should be fun. So let's get right on it. May 5th has 2 kind of completely different items. One's a game, Trek to Yomi. I think that's how it's pronounced. Black and white samurai game, side-scrolling, coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. This is from Devolver Digital, so it got the indie roots there. It just looks really cool. It looks like the combat's kind of basic. If you think of like an old black and white samurai movie and you put that on a 2.5D kind of field where you're side scrolling, that's what we're looking at here. You seem to be like a samurai, just killing other sword wielding samurais, and it looks like there are some like larger enemies, boss type enemies as well, but just visually it looks really, really cool. It's like a super stylized version of like a beat 'em up or something like that, where enemies are coming from the background and foreground at you. It seems like there's some environmental items that you can maybe interact with. I saw in the trailer, it looks like you could like drop things maybe on various enemies that are in the background or foreground. But just really cool looking, like a game that I don't know whether I'd want to play it or not, but it like I'd watch a let's play or something. Or I can imagine it looks it might be memeable in a sense, because it seems like hyper violent as well. What did you think of the trailer, Kayla?
I thought it looked really, really pretty. I mean, what else can I say? You covered it. Looks really pretty. Cheap. It looks like it's really cheap and probably not too long.
Yeah, I think it was like it listed at like $18 or something. Like so, I think it's a small thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big trend now. Well, a sort of trend now with Ghost of Tsushima on PS4, and now the whole wandering samurai thing. But I guess it's tale as old as time, right? So it's not really a new thing.
Yeah. So I'll be looking out for this one just from like a cool visual thing. I bet you like the trailer that they've released is like 2 minutes long, and it shows a lot. It shows like some fire tech and some some really cool visuals, all done in black and white. But I'm interested to see with these like larger enemies and boss battles and stuff what they do with that, because it just the style, it just like kind of reeks of style. So that's Trek to Yomi coming to PlayStation, Xbox, PC May 5th. Also May 5th, we have The Staircase coming to HBO Max. It's a new limited series. Apparently it's based on like a true story. It's a kind of a murder mystery, but featuring Colin Firth and Toni Collette in the lead roles. They are a married couple of, looks like they have like, I don't know, 8 children or something.
I don't know if it's mixed. It kind of gives mixed
like
feelings.
Yeah, like a blended family.
I know that there's an ex-wife, so...
Right. And the entire kind of series seems to focus on Toni Collette's death, the wife's death. It seems like she has fallen down a staircase. It's called The Staircase, and it's all about finding what happened, because it seems to be that there could be foul play. Like specifically, they're looking at the husband, Colin Firth, for this. But like the rest of the cast, like the kids, it's like Dane DeHaan, Sophie Turner, and just like Toni Collette, just in anything. I kind of want to. I really like her.
It's captivating.
Yes, captivating. Great term.
Yeah.
And it seems like she's really getting to do things. I don't know how they're gonna. I guess it's gonna be mostly like flashbacks and things, but just like it looks like a cool limited drama. Have you checked this out much, Mike?
I just kind of heard about it recently. I've heard that Colin Firth gives like a great performance in it, and watching the trailer, and it's on HBO. Like, sign me up. I most anything HBO does, I'm like, all right, I'll check this out.
Yeah, and I like it. It is a limited series too, like how we were talking just a couple minutes ago. Like we'll find out what happens, I guess.
It'll end.
Yeah, it seems like there's an interesting wrinkle too. They mentioned in the trailer. It looks like at some point during the trial or during this, like that a French film crew is like wanting to make a documentary. So it's kind of a meta thing going on. Like we're watching them make a documentary about this like thing, this crime. So interesting concept. But that's like you said, Eddie. A limited series coming to HBO Max with like big time actors like Toni Collette and Colin Firth. Like
the Nintendo seal approval stamped on that.
Yum.
Like, I'll take it. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's The Staircase coming to HBO Max May 5th. The next day, we get Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. They've given us a lot of this in multiple trailers. I think we're on like the 4th trailer or something at this point.
Who needs to see it now?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll subvert our expectations, or trick. Maybe it was some trickery or whatever else. But we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of this movie.
I think the movie's going to be a lot more.
I think so too. I do.
Yeah,
I do. I think it's going to be a lot.
I haven't checked the runtime. What are we looking at? Another like 3-hour movie here?
It's going to be probably 2.5. It's going to be like No Way Home kind of length, I would think, maybe.
Excited for Sam Raimi. Right. Yeah,
all
so
time.
we're getting Sam Raimi back into the fold for the first time, working with Disney now. He was instrumental in all of the Sony Spider-Man movies back 20 years ago at this point.
A lot of fun quotes coming from him, like on the media circuit for the movie and stuff. Like there was a script for Spider-Man 4 that didn't get made, and just interesting stuff like that. Hearing about just his experiences with those movies, and at least knowing there's some whatever bad blood or bad feelings, whatever was then, that they've moved past it now, and maybe he could stick around and keep making more Marvel stuff, more cool stuff.
Yeah, we need more weird Marvel, and that's Sam Raimi. So.
Well, we've been getting that lately with Moon Knight and stuff. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
The runtime is 1 hour and 55 minutes.
Wow.
Oh, that's good.
Gosh, that's a mini movie for Marvel. Goodness.
Right. How
there
are they
are
going to get anything done?
hella showtimes available.
Good. We'll be able to get some tickets. That's good. Yeah, so this will be interesting. Seems like they're introducing some new characters, and we've got Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange, and maybe some other exciting things coming
Familiar
out. Ultron.
voices in that last trailer that I saw. So that was like the Super Bowl trailer, though. Yeah. I've avoided everything since.
Good. The trailers are like an hour and 55 minutes, I think, each. Yeah. So we'll see. We will see. But what? Just quick pulse on Marvel right now. Are we still positive? You mentioned
Moon Knight.
We've got one more episode. We've gotten quite a bit, in the last 12 months. Series, movies, everything else. We got Spider-Man. What's your pulse on it, Kayla, right now?
Oscar Isaac is killing it. I'm enjoying Moon Knight. I really enjoyed the last episode of Moon Knight. I'm here for Marvel. My only thing is I feel like they're showing too much in trailers, but that's just as trailers go. And I'm interested to see how much of What If does partake in Doctor Strange, something we've talked about before. So if you haven't seen What If,
on this sticking point is What If thing, Kayla,
I think it plays a part. I just think it's really interesting that like this it seemed like it was just like a throwaway show, something that they were just like, we'll do it. It's fine. It's not going to be too much. And then it's like the moving point forward. It just seems so interesting.
Gotcha.
How about you, Mike? What you feeling about Marvel right now?
Treading water, kind of. Just Moon Knight's cool so far. I don't know how or if it's going to fit in, that kind of thing. And it's going to be the last episode, so what is it going to... I don't know how satisfying that's going to feel, how they tie it to where we're at. Or if it doesn't even have to, if it's just its own thing, which would be fine. But I don't know. At Loki, I was kind of at a high, and now it's been like, okay, since then, like, where's this going? And hopefully Doctor Strange will get some momentum going with the storyline, and we'll know where we're at. It's been tough for them so far, just kind of getting away from that last saga, I guess.
Yeah, coming off of the Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they put all the filler, right? For like we got 2 years of filler, and then we're gonna then we'll fight Cell. So.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness coming to theaters May 6th. You heard it here first. Cell is going to be from Dragon Ball Z in the Multiverse of Madness. You heard it here first. May 10th, we get Salt and Sacrifice coming to just PlayStation and PC. So that's PS4, PS5, and PC. You played the not prequel, but the first one of these, Salt and Sanctuary, right, Mike?
I did, yeah. I played a bit of it. That game is just take some Dark Souls, take a Metroidvania, take an ugly art style, mash them together, and it was fun. It was cool. It's very difficult. I found it hard to navigate, like to remember. I don't remember there being a map, and it was hard to remember exactly. Okay, I have a double jump now. I can go back and get that ring that was off in the distance somewhere, out of reach, and it was fine. It seemed like this one could be looks like a much smoother experience, I think, than that first one. Probably a little more holding your hand a little bit. It seems really multiplayer focused, like having a faction, kind of like a Pokemon Go thing almost, or something. Which team are you going to be a part of? Seems like I think there's 4 or 5 of them.
Dark Souls has played with some of that stuff too, joining different. Yeah, that's what I felt like. Definitely, they've definitely played up that aspect of like PvP, competitive, and also like cooperative modes and stuff like that too. But based by factions, it seems like you were saying. So.
Yeah, it seemed like defeating certain bosses in this world will, go towards your faction's overall rank or something. I think, right? Is that what? That's
I think
what
so. It very much seemed like
Definitely.
it. Yeah. But what did you
I think this one is straight up co-op too. I don't know if the first one had any of that, but that could be fun and well needed in this game. I think having an extra person in these games is always helpful.
I agree, and with like Elden Ring and Dark Souls and all those, the cooperative nature of those is always so weird and like hard to use in a lot of ways. If this streamlines that in a way where you can just jump in, jump out, or something like that, maybe we'd actually play this one, Kayla. What did you think of this one?
It was my first encounter with it. I don't know anything about the predecessor, but I thought it looked interesting. I thought it looked very wanting to be spooky, like having spooky elements. Not necessarily that it's going to be scary, but like, dark fantasy like creatures and stuff, which I'm always into.
The monsters and bosses and stuff in the first one had a real just brutal kind of if you've seen that like Darkest Dungeon, that art style kind of thing, a real gothic-y horror art to it.
Yeah, I would like that. Difficulty wise might be problematic for me, but
it was really just difficult in the fact, like, okay, this thing's if I get hit by this thing, it's gonna hurt a lot, of course, like a Souls game, and just getting the patterns. It was a lot of just knowing the patterns.
We can do that.
Yeah.
We've beaten Portal 2. We can do that.
Hell yeah.
Salt and Sacrifice coming to PlayStation 4 and 5 and PC May 10th. Hacks Season 2 coming to HBOMax May 12th. You finished Season 1, right, Mike? You really enjoyed Season 1?
I enjoyed it, yeah. Jean Smart was really the standout for me in that season. And that was all about her kind of dealing with her like Vegas comedy run coming to a close, and that part of her life. And now she's going to break out and go on tour. She's the first trailer's like her, getting this extravagant bus, and Jackie from Roseanne is going to be like her, like roadie or something like that. It seems I forget her name, but and there's still like a lingering mystery from the first season, like a double crossing that might come to head here with her assistant / like joke writer character. I forget her name, but I'm invested. I'm in. I'm gonna watch this too. Do some hacks and staircase double feature nights. Probably get both those episodes out of the way on the HBO. But yeah, what do you guys think? Are you gonna maybe start on this one sometime? Start on Season 1?
Kayla mentioned it while we were watching the Season 2 trailer. It's the opposite of like what the Marvel trailers have been. I feel like it was really, really good because it didn't spoil Season 1 in any way. I don't know how much it could have. Maybe it could have spoiled some stuff, but it like introduced the characters in a cool way, like that they have a story. And it was just really compelling.
They're going on tour.
Yeah, and
that was all.
It's a decent size. It's like 3 minutes or something too.
Yeah.
But like, all right, cool. Like, I haven't seen Season 1, and I didn't need to almost to really get what was going on in this trailer. So it got me. I mean, when you were talking about it last year, I thought it sounded great, and Jean Smart's really, really fun. So I think she can definitely do the job of like being a headliner of a show like this. So
she's great. Ever since seeing her like in The Watchmen and in Fargo, last year in Mare, of course, and she's excellent, and she's really good in this. She pulls off. She's kind of like the oh man, she passed away a few years ago. She was always on the red carpet stuff on E, the old-timey comedian woman.
Yes, very much so. That's exactly what I guess maybe she's trying to kind of...
that kind of, old comedy,
Joan
meeting
Rivers.
new comedy. Joan Rivers, thank you.
Yes.
Yes. I would have hated myself if we didn't get that.
She very much feels like Joan Rivers.
They got a lot of physical comedy. They do a lot with their facial expressions and stuff.
Oh, yeah. And learning about those, they do a good job of peeling the onion layers of both of those characters and finding out more and more about them throughout that first season. So
interesting. I'd check it out.
It's good. It's worth it.
Giving me like Funny People vibes a little bit. So that's that flop of 2009.
It is. It does have Funny People stuff going on. Just that kind of existential.
Was there?
Kind of, like what am I? What I've been doing this my whole life, kind of thing. What that
has been. That's the more term that I wanted.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's coming back to HBO Max for season 2 on May 12th. Next day, we get a trio of 3 movies that couldn't be any different from each other. We've got the remake of Firestarter, the 1984 Drew Barrymore movie, adaptation of a Stephen King story. This is starring Zac Efron, and Kayla, I think, has mentioned, like, we both kind of want him to do more stuff. I really dig Zac Efron. And he's playing it looks like the father probably of the Firestarter, of the little girl, the role that Drew Barrymore played in the original movie, who is basically a superhero who can start fires with her mind. Not a super wild, concept or anything else. She can start fires with her mind, and that is dangerous and scary. But it looks good, and like I felt like the quality looked pretty solid. Like that 84 movie, I've never watched it, but I've seen like clips and things of that nature, and it's kind of low budget in a lot are ways. This
fire's hard. CGI fire, that'd be hard shit.
Exactly. Yeah. And maybe we are able to do this
better, at least.
Right. What do you think of this one, Mike?
Sorry, man, I'm still reeling from that Zac Efron is a father opener you had, because to me he's still like 18 years old, like singing about basketball and shit in those.
He's movies. Come so far since then.
Yeah, I felt real old there.
Neighbors, man, Neighbors.
And the Ted Bundy. The Ted Bundy is a nice look at him being able to do dramatic roles as well.
Good call.
Nice, yeah.
Because he's obviously funny and fit, so he's fine at being like one of those douchebag college dudes. But he's also good at being a serial killer rapist. So
yeah. The kids caught wind of this, and they were seemed excited. And I'm looking at the rating now, and it's an R. So they're not,
it looks like an R.
Anything.
Yeah.
Even the trailer seems to be pretty. Yeah, like they don't really hold back in the trailer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I never seen the original. Never read the book.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So this is coming to theaters and Peacock at the same time. Yeah.
I have Peacock, so.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe I'll.
You never got rid of it. I thought we discussed this.
Never got rid of it. I gotta keep it now. I gotta watch Firestarter. I gotta.
May 14th. You could cut that subscription.
Yeah, I'm in the bag for May as it is. I probably so.
So shifting gears a bit from Firestarter, on the count of 3. This is really compelling, interesting movie. I was perusing what's coming up in May, had not heard of this movie until very recently, and it's a limited release coming to theaters on the 13th. Stars Gerard Carmichael and Christopher Abbott are the two. Not familiar with much of their work. I think I've seen Gerard Gerard Carmichael's one of his stand-up specials. I think I watched on HBO. Funny dude, but the subject matter on this one's a little intense. So it's two guys who basically make a suicide pact. They've been dealing with issues in the modern world, and they decide they want to take each other's life. So they come in. They find some guns. They each find a gun somehow, and their plan is just to shoot each other in the face, which is intense. But
on the count of three.
On the count of three, exactly. But they decide like they're going to make the most of their last day on the planet, and they're going to go do some good in whatever way. And it very much, I got like Uncut Gem vibes to it.
Sure.
Where it seems like it's going to be real intense, really like we got this time constraint of by the end of the day, these two dudes want to die. But like, it's also a comedy as well. Like, and it's got a bunch of other, looks like Tiffany Haddish and JB Smoove also in supporting roles. This looks incredibly interesting. What do you guys think about this one?
Man, great find. I had no idea this was, coming out or anything about it. And the trailer starts in a great way. They're like driving to ultimately, I guess, do the deed, and the Papa Roach's Last Resort comes on, and Gerard Carmichael turns. He's like, "No, man, you can't listen to this when you're about to, when you're thinking about what you're thinking about, like." Really just sets the tone for what we're gonna go on with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm interested to see like the conversations around it. It's a limited release. I haven't gotten like it is like a gem out there. I haven't seen much about it until like trying to find information and check out the trailer and stuff. But if it comes out and it does well, I that's a heady subject of suicide and I don't think they're making light of it, but like doing it in a comedic fashion is going to get a lot of people talking. So that's going to be a real interesting thing.
It's definitely something that will be explored, just like that whole headspace.
Yeah. So. And
Christopher Abbott was good, really good in It Comes at Night. It comes. He was like the family that shows up, like, and is sick and stuff like that in that one. So
we were
tough
trying
to
to
recognize
place
him
him
with those blonde curls.
Yeah,
he's got a Justin Timberlake blonde curls going on in this, but definitely want to check it out. I don't know how easy it's going to be to see it soon.
Yeah, me too. I would even go early. Like, I wouldn't like wait a couple weeks to see what the reviews are. I think it's something I want to see.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, so that's On the Count of Three, coming to theaters in a limited capacity on May 13th. And then wrapping up May 13th, we have coming to Netflix Senior Year, Rebel Wilson. This is like so it's an R-rated comedy, which I want as many of as possible. So
I'll go just because of that.
Yes. So Rebel Wilson, I could kind of take her or leave her. I think she works really well as like a goofy side character, and she's done that in a lot of things and just over the top and I'm wild and goofy and gross and stuff. And I think she does that thing really well. This is a starring role for her. And this is going to be interesting. It's it's kind of a throwback movie. She is a cheerleader in 2002 and falls into some sort of coma, wakes up 20 years later and wants to finish her senior year. And obviously everything is very different, 20 years later, but she has that 2002 mindset. So she's
in a velour jumpsuit. I love it.
I felt like this was done really well in like 21 Jump Street. A little bit different, obviously. That's like a kind of a cops and robbers, movie as well. But like just that.
Billy Madison is what this is going for.
Okay, there you go.
And I was thinking Never Been Kissed.
Yeah.
It's a mix of all of those things, I think, but in R-rated comedy, starring Rebel Wilson, I think it's got a shot. Like, the trailer's funny, and if she can do it, if she can do all those things like Adam Sandler did in Billy Madison, or like Channing Tatum or whatever in 21 Jump Street, I think it's got a shot to be pretty damn funny, because it's the concept works for me. Like, I dig that. Especially, it seems like they're really playing on like the 2002 nostalgia and stuff. There's a scene in the trailer where she's in her room and she's got Britney Spears on her wall, and just all of those kind of things. And she doesn't understand Lady Gaga, and I feel that's rife for just like some pretty solid like, okay, yeah, I get what you're doing here. Like, I want to be transported back to 2002 sometimes as well.
Nice try, Eric, trying to get me to watch this trailer. I seen that face right away, that Rebel Wilson face. No thanks. No, nah. Nice try.
I know you like. I know she's not your lady, but the movie looks. I don't know. The movie looks all right. It's
a coming of age tale.
We'll probably watch this. Yeah, but not the biggest Rebel Wilson fan, but going off this nostalgia, did you guys hear about that 90s show?
A little bit.
Finally doing it?
Yeah, they got kind of the whole band back together.
I saw still.
Except Danny Masterson.
Good call.
Right,
good call.
Right. But Kurtwood Smith tweeted some photos yesterday of the script, and him and Deborah Jo Rupp, Kitty's actress, them together. And man, they're going to be some grandparents on there or something. Like they look old, of course, because they are. But I was really upset by the idea of it at first, but then hearing, okay, they did get Ashton Kutcher, they did get Mila, and Donna's actress, I forget her name, and Topher Grace is coming back too. So
underrated Topher Grace, I think. I think he's really good.
I love him in that 70s show, of course. Didn't really do much that I liked after that, but
Predators.
Isn't that show like Home Economics?
I never watched that.
I haven't watched it. It's like out currently though. It's like on the CW or something.
Yeah. He was like that weirdo in Traffic that was trying to do weird stuff with drugs and the girl and stuff. So it's kind of hard for me to shake that, I guess, after seeing him as Eric Foreman for so many years. But sorry to derail, but I'm kind of excited for that now.
No, that's awesome.
Coming to Netflix. That's going to be a Netflix thing.
Nice.
Just like senior year on May 13th.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Excellent transition. May 20th, we get another trio of things. Dolmen is the first one, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I thought they were, when this was originally announced a couple years ago, I think it was on like Xbox's stage at something. It seemed like they were playing up the horror elements. It seemed like it was spooky, and it does, like, it is a cosmic horror game. It's a third person kind of action adventure RPG game.
We got Returnal vibes from it.
Yeah, but I think they're now, at least in the release trailer, it seems like they're playing up the action aspect and like the customization of your character, the guns and different weapons and stuff that you're going to be using, more than they are playing up any sort of like, scary nature or the monsters that you'll be fighting and stuff. So that was a little upsetting to me. I thought I was getting like a horror game, and this looks like more of an action game, but looks cool regardless. It seems like it's highly, they really kind of show you the customization, weapon customization, character customization in the trailer. Seems like there's a lot there to do, and the monsters do look cool. It looks like you're fighting these big gigantic demon, very like Doom-esque kind of monsters. Get a lot of Doom feels for it. What do you think of this one, Mike?
Kind of just had a generic feel to me overall. Seemed like it was just borrowing from a lot of things and not really having its own kind of vision or any interesting kind of hook to it. For me. So I think I might pass on Dolmen. Dolmen is called, right?
Dolmen, yeah. Might be a Game Pass game, down the line kind of thing. You felt the same, Kayla? Like, I remember watching the trailer and you're like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer itself, it didn't really give a lot. It literally just, like, showcased a bunch of different armor and different weapons and, like, the same kind of one person fighting the same kind of one creature. Which, yeah, you've mentioned Returnal. It gave me, like, Mass Effect feels just, like, by the visuals.
Yeah, like the armor looks very spacesuity.
Very Shepard, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what? But
is this like a live service multiplayer thing? Like, it gave me that feel too. Like, as soon as I get that from a game, I'm kind of out. Like, I check out on it. Like, if it seems like
it did
going
look
for
like a Destiny. Yeah, it looked a lot like Destiny, and that might just be what you're saying, where it's taking a lot of those cues, like from an art standpoint of these other things. I see it as it seems like a one player action RPG. Seems like I haven't. I'll have to maybe dig into that, but nothing in the trailer mentioned any sort of multiplayer or
the enigma that is Dolmen. What is this game? What is Dolmen?
I told it now. I told Eric it was like the opposite of what trailers have been. Like, I have no idea what's going on.
Dolmen from the creators of Severance coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC May.
Annapurna join, huh?
I think it might be. I don't know. Love, Death, and Robots Season 3 coming to Netflix also on May 20th. I know Kayla has not watched the first 2 seasons. I don't think you have either, right, Mike?
Oh, that was just an Eric journey that you took. Didn't you watch this?
I have seen the first 2 seasons.
I thought both of you watched it. My bad.
Yeah, no, solo run myself. Animated anthology series. Really enjoyed it. It can get a little bit what's the term? I don't know. Juvenile's not the right thing because it's definitely an adult themed animation, but kind of edgelord, I guess, is maybe what I'm looking. Like, some of the different anthologies are very like, oh, let's show boobs just to show boobs. Let's show violence just to show violence a little bit here and there, as opposed to like making anything compelling. But then it'll shift to something like a super wild existential sci-fi horror episode that, and they're shorts. They're like 15 minutes a piece usually, in wildly different animation styles, which is cool. So it's very much like a Star Wars Visions, that type of thing, but very adult, like very adult themes, adult content, all of that, but just well produced, like really high quality animation, depending on what style they're going for and everything else, and a lot of compelling. It's like if Black Mirror was an anime almost, it's like it's a mix of those things, because a lot of it is like terrible future tech and stuff like that, or like the worst parts of what our future could look like, and things of that nature. But yeah, that's Love, Death, and Robots Season 3 coming back to Netflix on May 20th. I'll check it out in my free time. It's one of those things, yeah, because they're 15-minute episodes or whatever else where you can just watch. The whole season will probably be a couple hours at most, I bet. So. But the big one, coming May 20th, to theaters, our boy, Alex Garland. He's releasing Men, folks. May 20th.
Hell yeah.
He's doing it by himself. He's putting it out there. The last trailer. Have you seen the last trailer, the most recent trailer, Mike?
I don't think so. I've seen the teaser and then the official. I remember messaging you like, man, like there's a trailer.
Okay.
So I've seen that one.
Think you haven't seen the one with Rory Culkin then?
The guy from Black Mirror, the first episode.
Rory, not Rory Culkin. Rory, what's his last name? God.
I think you're thinking about the right person.
Yes, yeah, the guy from Black Mirror. I not Rory Culkin. Rory Culkin's part of the Culkin family.
He is the men in this trailer. He is the
right. I thought you were gonna say he was the one releasing this movie all by himself because it's just him.
So you've seen the trailer. Okay, I felt like that trailer gave too much away. Maybe not. Maybe it will. Alex Garland's stuff is an enigma. So
Eddie, man, yeah. You don't know. You don't know what's going on in there.
But I feel like there was way too much. God, I hope not. But I felt like we saw a little bit too much of the past of the main character, maybe. At least she touches on some things. And then, we see, God, Rory, what the hell's his last name? He was just in Our Flag Means Death, too. He's really good in that. Yeah. Can't think of his name. First time we ever saw him was, me and Kayla at least, was in Penny Dreadful. He played Frankenstein's monster. He was really good, but
Rory Kinnear.
Rory Kinnear. Thank you.
Greg Kinnear's English cousin.
Yes. I think that's canon. But Men it still looks great. The trailer gives away too much. I would say anyone, if you haven't seen the trailer that we're talking about or mentioning, go in a little maybe more dark than we're going in. But Alex Garland doesn't disappoint in my mind. Like even the lesser stuff like Devs and whatnot is still compelling in my opinion. What's your hype level for this, Mike?
Pretty hype. Anything with Jessie Buckley in it, I'm gonna be there for. But
she's robbed.
Man, I remember watching that trailer and then just like soaking it in. Like, oh man, okay, that I don't really know what's going on here, and I kind of want to keep that. I haven't really delved too much into it. I just want to experience it and let it flow over me. Just men,
man.
You heard it here first. Men flowing over Mike, our new podcast.
Not Rory Kinnear though. That's a weird pick, but yeah. No, he's a creepy guy. I remember him looking creepy, being creepy in the trailer.
Several times. Oh yes.
Oh yeah. And is it like she's returning back to her hometown or she's moving to a new place? Like it was confusing to me what she was doing.
I take it as like a vacation almost. It felt very much like the Lost Daughter almost, in a sense. Like, I'm taking a retreat out to deal with things, whatever. That's what I took it as. Some kind of
Lost Daughters.
Holiday.
Here we go. Let's sequel. Love it.
Man, if Men's the sequel to Lost Daughter, I'm into it. Oh, what do you think, Kayla? Are you excited for Men?
I am excited for Men. I think even though the trailer does show a lot, I still have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, I feel same way.
Super trippy. So if you like Alex Garland, if you like what we like, go check out Men in theaters May 20th. Yeah. Gonna be a lot of fun.
It's just tough to describe though. I don't know. It is a more just go in and check it out with his stuff. It's tough to kind of give a pitch for those. Yeah.
I agree. Check out Annihilation. Check out Ex Machina. Just do it. Yeah. Check it all out. Okay. May 27th to wrap up the entire month of May. We're getting 4 things. I'll start off with the one I don't know that any of us are going to check out, but I had to put it on the list because it's been, I don't know, coming out for the last 3 years, I think. Top Gun Maverick coming to theaters, probably, most likely, maybe, I don't know.
This just in, Top Gun has been delayed. 2025. Yeah.
Oh yeah, to coincide with Avatar 2, I think they're gonna come out together in 2025. What is there to say about Top Gun Maverick? It's the sequel to Top Gun. We got Tom Cruise. We got a picture of Val Kilmer on the wall.
I've seen this trailer, so I've gone to the movies 3 times in the last week, seen the trailer each time. So, and I don't know if it's Stockholm Syndrome or what, but they kind of got me wanting to see Top Gun Maverick. Like, honestly, like seeing those planes.
I've never seen the first one.
I've heard people like be bummed that this hasn't come out. I've never seen the first Top Gun.
I know that they did some interesting stuff to record, like pilots in the cockpit. I know that. That's like a
cool.
new.
I get it now.
Cool
I kind of get why people like Top Gun. Like, all right, yeah, look at those planes. Those
they've invented brand new technology, to capture all of that, like new cameras and new like ways to mount cameras and stuff like that. And I think Tom Cruise has like done, as he always does, a lot of his own like stunt work and stuff. I'm pretty sure he's like a certified fucking naval pilot now. Naval aviator, I think they call them, not pilots.
Right.
Because pilots are the ones that drive the boats, guys.
Yes. Did you learn that by the people who said that in the theater?
I did learn that by the people who said that in the theater while we were watching the Top Gun Maverick trailer for also our 5th time. Yeah. So that was
because obviously boats came before planes, so they already had pilots claimed.
I don't know. I wasn't there back then. It could be any reason.
But did either of you have that moment in the trailer where you're like, man, Miles Teller looks a lot like Goose. I see what they're going for here. And then they're like, my dad trusted you or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. That's a young Goose, a Goose Jr.
He's the Gosling, yes.
Yes, yeah, there we go.
Yes. Oh, yeah, Miles Teller's good. I don't like his face, but he's a good actor. So, I think he'll do well.
Yeah,
opposite
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah,
Tom Cruise.
He emits like an energy that I don't like. He has some way about the way he presents himself. It's good. He's a good actor, but it's just something that's like, ugh.
That's a better way to put it than I don't like his face. You're right. That's a good, yeah. Mm-hmm. I like it. I like the way you put it. But we've spent a lot of time talking about Top Gun Maverick somehow. May 27th.
What people want here.
I do actually, before I want to stay on it, I guess. Do you guys think it will be a success? It's cost, I think this movie has cost a ton of money with these, I think there were reshoots. I think there were production issues. We've had COVID, all of these things. Yeah. Is there any way people go out and this movie makes $150 million or whatever it needs to make to probably get its budget back? Is there any chance?
This is the movie that's gonna get some of the old moviegoers to go, and by that I mean the people who probably liked those movies but are older now and more careful and cautious with COVID, and this might get them out.
It's a big fun blockbuster kind of thing.
Getting ready for summer. That's probably Memorial Day weekend.
I don't know if it would have a global appeal, like a Fast movie or something like that, or so it would have to do it domestic. I don't know.
American.
It's a lot of rah 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 kind of stuff. It's
hoorah!
We're gonna do America for the biggest war combat ever. Whatever the guy says in the trailer.
No, that's exactly what he says. The biggest war combat ever. I remember that line. Yeah, that's good.
You've never experienced this, Tom Cruise. Not even you, Maverick.
Mr. Top Gun.
Top Gun is anime, by the way. The way they just refer to everybody by their code name or whatever. It's I think the Air Force in general is anime. There we go. There.
Goodness.
There's the global appeal they need to tie into. They need to focus on the anime of it.
If the
We
review
solved
says if the review says that Tom Cruise goes Super Saiyan, I'm in. Top Gun Maverick.
He's trying.
Coming to theaters May 27th. Holy smokes, we spent like 20 minutes on Top Gun. That's amazing. Bob's Burgers also coming to theaters on May 27th, and we're not talking about it at all. We don't know.
We gave that time to Top Gun.
This is just going to be fun. We honestly don't need to go into Kayla.
No, there's not too much to say. I want to see it.
Yeah, the trailer's great because it's just a bunch of quick cuts of just random ridiculousness, like of what Bob's Burgers is, but it doesn't give away too much. I really don't know what's going on. There's a sinkhole or something happening.
Oh, okay.
But
I was going to ask what's the overall kind of plot of this.
Don't know.
But
yeah.
We don't really know.
Yeah, there's a scene in the trailer where like a sinkhole is happening outside of the of Bob's Burgers, outside of the store, but I think that's even happened before in episodes, if I remember correct. So I don't even know if that might be a 20-minute little gag. Who knows? Yeah, just seems
there's
like
a lot going on in the trailer. A lot.
Seems like it's just going to be a 2-hour episode of Bob's Burgers, and I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. Yeah. Give me more of that.
That's our go to bed show every night.
That movie can't be 2 hours. It can't.
Oh, it might not be. I don't know. All movies
got a lot of stuff in the trailers.
Does. But,
hour 42. Almost.
Close enough.
Good to know.
It's like 6 episodes of Bob's. I'm into it. So that's the Bob's Burgers movie coming to theaters the 27th. Then we have an interesting competition here. Obi-Wan was supposed to come out on the 25th. It moved 2 days back, which is, I don't know why. I don't know if I've ever, figured out, or if anyone's ever come out and said why they did this, but what it looks like is they're trying to compete with Stranger Things, because we're getting both of those on the 27th. Disney had been releasing new content on Wednesdays, which would have been the 25th. Would have fit right in with Obi-Wan. Now it's on a Friday. We also get Stranger Things season 4, the final season of Stranger Things on the 27th. So I guess we have a dual conversation here: Obi-Wan and Stranger Things season 4. Which are we more excited for? Kayla.
Obi-Wan.
Well, there you go. Boom.
I'm excuse me. I'm excited for both. We just watched the trailer for Stranger Things, even though I feel like I've seen the whole trailer on social media of just stills. Tons of pictures came out, tons, and I was like a little cranky about it. But then we watched the trailer this morning, and I'm not gonna lie, it excited me. I was like, okay, White Walkers, shit's getting weird.
Huge budget.
Huge. And they look so big. Oh my god, the kids are so big. I don't remember. Yeah. I'm like, shit, I don't remember Billy. What the fuck happened? They moved away. So Stranger Things did excite me. I've always been excited for Obi-Wan. Always something that I've wanted. This right here. And more, and we'll see what happens with it. But it's getting started at least. So I love it.
2 episodes off the bat for
interesting. So that's what I was thinking. Like, why would you come up with something like Netflix is going to come out with a stack of episodes, and you're going to have one? Like, why would you want that to happen on the same day? You're going to get forgotten about. Seems weird.
Well, I think Obi-Wan's going to keep, they're doing the weekly thing. So
right.
I think
so just
Stranger Things is going to come and go. I think.
Right.
For me, that's a show that I feel like that should have been wrapped up a couple years ago. We should have had these seasons out. They would keep taking their sweet ass fucking time, letting these kids grow up to be 30 years old.
Yeah.
Like, no. And they've really lost kind of the magic of that first season for me. That mix of horror and Spielberg adventure kind of thing. But I am still interested. I'm still going to watch it. I want to see my boy David Harbour, come back. And I don't Obi-Wan, I'm just hoping that it's Ewan McGregor at his best again. Love Ewan McGregor, and I hope it's not just a ton of boring Tatooine stuff like Boba Fett was. I know there's going to be Tatooine, of course. That's the only planet in the galaxy.
It's the whole opening is the sand.
Right, and that evokes, like some this is what it's supposed to be, Obi-Wan looking after Luke and everything, from afar. But they did have that kind of he will be planet hopping a bit, it seems, and going to other places, and they've already said there's going to be some Hayden Christensen in this with in Vader, so let's see what that is, if it's flashbacky stuff, if it's new stuff that makes A New Hope not make any sense anymore with their relationship in that. So we'll see. It's going to be a kind of a tightrope walk, that show, and I want to see if they land it or not.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting just with everything that they've set up across the land, with Ahsoka as well. Interested to see what happens there.
Mm-hmm.
This time period is super compelling too. It's the same time period that we've explored a little bit with like Jedi Fallen Order 2, and they've introduced some characters that they did a lot in that game. The Inquisitors were a main part of that, and they seem to be a main part in this Obi-Wan series. I'm a little concerned it's going to be too much action. I guess it's weird to say that because that's what I typically want in Star Wars. I want like space battles and lightsabers and fights and blasters and all that. But like I think Obi-Wan is a super compelling character, and like his failure like with Anakin and everything else, the things they weren't able to really do well in the prequels, like because those were so CGI action and everything else, and more Anakin focused. Like I kind of like the idea, or I'm building this thing in my head of just Obi-Wan being like depressed Jedi, like just ruminating on his failures and like really, really not wanting that to happen to Luke and everything. And like I want it to be more like internal, that internal struggle, because I think Ewan McGregor can do that. But I don't know if that's what it's going to be, especially with, like Mike said, like we've already heard that there's probably going to be some Obi-Wan and Vader stuff, like they're going to probably fight or something, and maybe with these Inquisitors there's going to be fights and stuff. It seems like it's going to be an action, space trotting kind of adventure, which can be good, but it's maybe not what I was hoping for.
I don't know if this will be a bad thing to poke at, but I don't think Obi-Wan will be using his lightsaber very often at all, because he's in hiding.
I hope so. I kind of hope so, but who knows?
And in the trailer, they show him using a pew-pew. So, blaster.
He doesn't like blasters.
He's got them. I mean, I guess you can't really fight flying things with a lightsaber very easily. I guess you can if you're a Jedi, but I don't. Jumping. It's obvious.
They've got the high ground. You can't.
Right. He knows he's better.
Oh.
But I'm interested. That's all.
Yeah. One note on Stranger Things Season 4, we are getting it in 2 parts. So they are releasing it in 2 parts. So we get the first part on May 27th, and then we get the second in July, I think late July. So, that'll be a thing. We aren't getting the entire finale because they gotta spread it out even more than they already have, like Mike said. Any final thoughts on May? Did we miss anything? Is this a compelling month?
Top Gun.
Top Gun. Let's talk. Let's do more Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick, I think, is what we're calling it.
Oh, look at us. We did it.
Guess what the podcast title's gonna be, folks?
it's going to be a good month overall. I think we've had some really good content months, and this one's just going to be more heavy on movies and TV. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Excellent. All right. So that is May, mostly Top Gun Maverick, and a bunch of other stuff. Thanks for listening to episode 74 of The Machine of Nonsense. As always, check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Drop us a line on anchor.fm/Machine of Nonsense. There's a little link there. You can leave us a voicemail. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us all about Black Panther. Tell us all about Top Gun Maverick. We want to hear from you. Episode 74 is in the books. What's coming up in May? We're getting out of here, and we're saying goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.